I got a text message from the passenger saying, hey, we're running about 30 minutes late. The plane's gonna land at 4 o'clock. Can you wait? I'll give you a cash tip. I got a reserved ride to pick up at the airport. I ended up getting there about 10, 15 minutes early. And when I arrived, I realized it wasn't at the main area, it was at the private jet terminal. And sure enough, I got a text message from the passenger, hey, we're running about 30 minutes late. Can you wait? I'll give you a cash tip. The truth is this. A cash tip basically means I'm not going to get a tip. Hear me out. When a passenger says they're going to tip you, that means you're not going to get a tip. I wouldn't have come up with this entire brand, Tip You in the App, if people who said they're going to tip me actually tip me. The reality is about 40% of my passengers tip, and I work really hard for a tip. But you and I know as drivers that people ask for favors all the time. They promise a tip, and you're not going to get it. I've had it happen today already. I loaded this girl's scooter in the back of my car. She said she was going to tip me for doing it. She didn't tip me. So when a passenger says they're going to be 30 minutes late for a reservation and that they're going to tip me, that's a big red flag. Because here's the deal. You don't get wait time for a reservation. So once the 5 minutes after the start time of the reservation hits, I could have hit cancel on this reservation and made more than the $18 of the upfront fare. Against my better judgment, it was a private jet. I was just kind of curious. I went ahead and stayed. I waited a full 30 minutes for the passenger to show up. It was kind of cool because they told me to drive on the runway tarmac area. It reminded me of my days in the Air Force. And sure enough, the jet pulls up. They get off the airplane. I load the luggage. And I got a cash tip. Now, before I tell you the tip amount, I had this vision of a $100 tip because I've been tipped $100 before in cash for a private jet. I just kind of had this vision of a person getting off their jet and opening up their wallet or their fat stack of hundreds and just ripping one off and handing it to me. But it wasn't a $100 bill. It was a $50. Before I talk to you about my feelings about that, let me just tell you real quickly. Uber, you have to fix reserved wait time. I did Uber a solid by waiting those 30 minutes. Because look, Uber, I contacted them afterwards and said, listen, I waited 30 minutes. Can you help me? And Uber gave me $5 for all that customer service. I didn't have to wait. I could have canceled, got my $19, and force that customer to order another reserved ride. But I did Uber a customer service thing, and Uber shafts me. So Uber, you got to fix that. Pay wait time on reserved rides. Let's talk about the $50 tip. And at first, I was a little disappointed because I was expecting $100. But you know what? That's on me. That's foolishness on my part. A $50 cash tip is a lot of money. It's a super lot of money. That tip took me from $220 or $30, whatever I earned that day, to $280. That tip represented like 20% of my total income for that day. And I was judging them based upon the fact that they're getting off a private jet, and they were. The father was telling me how he has Starlink on the jet, and I have a Tesla, and he has Starlink, by the way, on his boats, not just one boat, but multiple boats. And I was thinking to myself, I deserved $100. They gave me $50. That's a lot of money. I should have been just happy with that. It's a fair amount of money for waiting 30 minutes of time. That's $100 an hour. So to the family, if you see this video, thank you. Thank you so much. And this is a simple fix for you, Uber. All you have to do is she could tip me right then and there on the app. And I would have seen the tip come through and be like, hey, Levi, if you complete this trip, you get a $50 tip. And I would have been all over it. But Uber doesn't show us the tip ahead of time. So I'm like operating off of trust. And to all the other Uber drivers out there, I know it's a struggle. It's harder as Uber keeps lowering the fares. Prices on everything keeps going up, but Uber's lowering the fares. It's harder and harder to make a living. I hope you stumble into a trip like I did today where you can get a $50 tip and make some good money. I hope you're safe, healthy, and happy. Be well. Bye.